welcome to Not in the Textbook. Today we're going to be looking at making a parachute for a minifigure. So this is a little physics experiment, and for this one today we're going to need a couple of things. First of all, some napkins, some string, a small figure, some sellotape, a pair of scissors, and a hole punch, or you could use a sharp pencil because we're just going to be making holes in the napkins, okay, if you haven't got a hole punch. So the first thing I need to do is take my napkin. I only need one for this one. I take my napkin, put the rest over here. Once I've got my napkin, I'm going to need to unfold it so it's as big as it can possibly be. So you should have a nice big square like that. Now I'm going to take some sellotape, and I'm just going to put some sellotape along the four corners, just to make the corners of my napkin a little bit stronger so they don't rip when we put holes in them. Okay, so I'll do it all round like that. You don't need much sellotape for this one, just enough to cover all the corners. Make sure they're stuck down firmly though, that's the important thing. And there we go. Now you can see I've got my four corners and they're all reinforced with a bit of sellotape. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my hole punch or something else that I'm going to make holes with, and I'm going to make a hole in the corner, in each corner of my napkin. Okay? And I want to make sure this is roughly in the same place on each side. Okay? But you don't have to be too accurate with it, just take a guess and hopefully you'll be okay then. There we are. Now I've got my four holes in my napkins. Now we're on to the fiddly part. Now before I started this bit, I've cut my string into four pieces that are all the same size. Okay? So what we're going to do, we're going to flip over our napkin, and in the first corner we're going to loop our string through, come around and tie them in a nice knot like that. So that's through and pull, and then the same again in the same place. Okay, that's a bit fiddly there, okay? Okay, so that's one done. Now I'm going to go to my next corner and do the same there as well. Okay, so it's going to go round. I'm just going to tie a knot there, so through once and pull, and through twice and pull. Okay. Right, so now we've done that, we're going to turn our napkin round, and we need to find a point in our napkin to hang our figure from, okay? So I'm going to hold them out so they're the same length outwards, and I'm going to take one hand, two hand and pinch there, and that's when I'm going to tie them together, okay? So I'm going to tie once and then loop through again and pull it for the knot. Okay, so that's the first knot we're going to do. Then you can see I've still got loads of string left, so I'm just going to tie a knot at the end as well, and then that is going to be the armholes for our little man. Okay, so just through once and pull, and through once and pull again. And you can see there's a small hole there. Now we're going to do this on both sides, okay? So we've got two of these hanging from, one of these hanging from each side and two in total. Right, so I've done that on both sides now, and if I hold it up, you can see I've got two loops at the top there, okay? Now, when we pick our figure, Lego ones tend to be better because they've got little gaps under their arms. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to wrap the loopholes under his arm there. Make sure your knots are nice and tight. So that's one, and then that's two. And then put the arm straight down by the side. And if I hold my parachute there, you can see that he's hanging from it there, okay? And now we're ready to experiment. Right, so the next bit includes dropping our little man and his parachute from somewhere to see how the parachute slows him down. Now, how a parachute works, gravity will try and pull it downwards, but the parachute opens and traps air underneath. So the air resistance pushes it back up and that slows it down then, okay? Because we're going to be dropping it, if you're going to do it from a window, make sure you've got an adult with you. It works from the top of your stairs or anything like that, okay? Right, now we've seen how well our parachute works, there's a little challenge for you. How do you think we could slow it down? How do you think we could speed it up? Do you think we could change what we drop with the parachute? Do you think we could change the size of the parachute? Will those have an effect on it? I'd love you to have a go and show me. Unfortunately, we're having a couple of issues with Seesaw at the minute, so if you could tweet us instead at Not in the Textbook 1, that'd be fantastic. I'd love to see your work as well, okay? I've been Owen, this is Not in the Textbook. Thank you very much. And remember, keep it simple and do it right.